Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've bellied up to the bar today. We've brought with us, hold on a sec. What do you want?
I want to be on your podcast.
You can't be on my podcast. But this guy actually talks to real wrestlers all the time. They're not going to be able to hear you. But I was trying to do my intro. What are you doing? Are you going to be a real wrestler?
Yeah,
Why do you love wrestlers so much?
because they're cool and they can beat up people.
They're cool and they can beat up people. So that's what you want to be able to do, is be cool and beat up people?
Yeah.
Okay. So can I do my intro now?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say before I get started?
Who knows but win?
Who knows but win?
Ooh, the tagline.
You got your own tagline. Who knows but win? I like it. We're going with it. All right.
That's a solid tagline.
It is a pretty solid tagline. I'm gonna have to give it to you, kid. Remember that. Who knows but win? All righty, folks. So let's try this again. Welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. As I get interrupted by small humans, there are all these jabronis running around here trying to go ahead and take my spotlight. But today we've bellied up to the bar with a man who is best known for his white gloves. Gloves so white they almost look like my oldest son's legs. It's a man who, let's be honest, there's not a fairer announcer in the business. So we're going to just have to go with it and say we've bellied up to the bar today with Shane Fair.
I'm an intro businessman, but that was pretty good, Sean.
That's off the cuff, too. That was off the cuff.
Oof.
I write none of it down.
I love it.
Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on here live from Jersey, or are you in the city now?
I'm in Staten Island. I'm just out of Jersey city limits there.
Jersey-esque.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right, Bobby. Well, let
Same culture.
Daddy get back to business, okay? I appreciate you. You had wrestling. We had wrestling.
I'm a wrestler.
He is a wrestler. He's hanging out. We hung out today. He had his wrestling. He's working on his moves, getting ready.
Who knows but when? Right?
I love that. Who knows but when? That is actually a pretty good line.
That is good, man.
How many pro wrestlers do you think of could say to themselves that, yeah, I came up with my tagline when I was 5?
Right, and it's that solid too. It's like, I love it.
Just come out there and look around the crowd and just be like, who knows but when? And then just be done. Just be done. It gave me chills, kid. All right.
I love it.
You see, mommy. I love you. No. Don't jump off my chair, jackass.
Lucha Libre.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Step down, please. Step down. I don't want you to fall and hurt yourself. I got a concrete wall next to me and the kid wants to jump off.
Oh, no. That's a big
Come on.
equation.
No. Please step down.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, my back. Oh, I have a broken back.
Yeah, he's already got the Ricky Steamboat broken back.
Oh, no. Dr. Anderson. Take a look at this kid.
Look at this guy. He's got the Ricky the Dragon. So I appreciate you being here, brother. Let's get some house cleaning done, and then we're going to get into it, folks. We're talking pro wrestling, as you can already tell. We're talking about it from a different angle. We're going to go ahead and approach this from inside of the ring, from the announcer side, from that guy that we all wonder, well, how did he get that gig? How did he end up here? So that's the angle we're taking here. So let's start off with our house cleaning. Right over my right shoulder, we've got the big sign for Sticker and a Cause. Make sure you come and if you've got you kids got me all messed up. Let's try this again. We've got our big sign over my right shoulder for Sticker and a Cause. Very simple, folks. If you've got something that you're supporting, you've got something that you're involved in. I don't care if it's your own wrestling promotion. You've got your own tagline. He just came up with a great one. Who knows? Just win. I'm gonna have to make T-shirts for that. I mean, it's even a great T-shirt line.
It's fire.
Whatever you've got going on, make sure you reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, even our email. It's all the Above the Bar podcast. That email at a Gmail at the end of it. Reach out. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you're supporting. I'll give you the address. It's not going to cost you anything. We'll put your sticker up here on the big board, and we'll go ahead and let everybody know about it. I think eventually, folks, the goal here is if we can get this sign all filled up with all the different guests, all the different people, and I can get all the square spaces filled in there, maybe we'll auction it off, see what's out there, and if we auction it off, whoever wins the auction, you tell me the charity, and we'll donate it to a charity. I think that's a pretty good idea. So we'll go with that. Now, maybe your media has taken a 1, 2, 3, and it looks like a jabroni, like it's just one of those just knockoff wrestlers. Back in the day, they were just there for entertainment so that the big guys could finish them off. Bob Starr, if y'all remember Bob Starr, that'll tell you my age. I was in Baltimore, so I watched he was always on. Guy only ever won one match. But maybe your stuff's hitting that point. Well, if you're at that point, make sure you reach out to Media by Dibs. That's Media by Dibs, DIBS. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Facebook at Media by Dibs. Or if you go on LinkedIn, Andrew Dibble, and you tell him you're there to belly up to the bar, he's going to give you a 10% discount on your first order and a free consultation for your media. That's Media by Dibs. All right, brother. We are done. We're all locked in.
Well, hello.
We're all
got the drops. I like it.
I'm working on it. Like I've got a whole bunch. Like you should see. We were talking about this beforehand about just like once you start buying this stuff, media.
Oh, definitely.
I got this great one. I got a P8 Podtrack P8 that's got like you can put 36 drops into this thing and just go wild.
Oh,
and I've got one. I got one that I just haven't found the right time to play it.
Right. Bust it out. Let's go.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's go, man.
It's an 18-second long drop.
Break it out of the package. Let's go.
All right. Here we go. This is like one of my
If you're looking for a time, you found it.
Here it is.
I'm an angel. I kill firstborns while their mamas watch. I turn cities into salt. I even, when I feel like it, rip the souls from little girls, and from now till kingdom come, the only thing you can count on in your existence is never understanding why.
It's a hell of a job.
Christopher Walken as the angel Gabriel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like just everything about that just gives me chills. So yeah. So we're talking about this, but Shane is joining us. Shane is with about 315 promotions for independent wrestling. Right. He's the voice of about 500 more, but beyond that. But you are the voice of New Jersey, New York. I mean, if Mike Falvo is the voice of Albany, you are the voice of independent wrestling in that area. There's no doubt about it. That is who you are, brother. I mean, let's be honest.
Wow.
And I love the outfits. I'm going to be that guy. If anybody is around, and Shane, announce some of the different promotions. We were going through some of them before the show. Who all are you with right now?
I'm with Pro Wrestling Magic, Warriors of Wrestling out of Staten Island, IWA. I'm with BCW. I don't want to forget anybody here. Shadow Wrestling Alliance. I'm so grateful, being mostly Pro Wrestling After Dark, standalone wrestling with Chad Minez. I'm so grateful to like anybody that's given me an opportunity, but I'm a bit of a man whore when it comes to the announcing. It's like I'm
a whore.
Oh, definitely. It's like you see so many of the same talents, like with these different promotions, and you almost get this like, oh, I want to be there. I want to represent them. Like you like the just the fascination with like I don't want to miss out. What do they call it? FOMO, fear of missing out, right? So
that's it. You never know.
It weighs into it.
And that's why that's why I say, my man Shane is into everything. And Chris, thank you, brother. I appreciate you popping in and saying hello. And folks, if you're finding me right now, Shane, and you found us, please take a moment, share this around on all your social media. Try to get kicked off of as many yard sale sites as you possibly can. Make sure you go find Shane, give him a follow, see where he's at. We're going to make sure I'm going to throw it up here on the banner. If you haven't, go on your Instagram and look up Worlds with an S at the end of it, Fair Productions with an S at the end of it. So that's Worlds with an S, Fair Productions. Give Shane a follow. check out his stuff. Always some great things. And if you look, I'm gonna go back to them suits, brother. Where are you getting them suits at?
Oh, thank you, man. You know, it's like I was getting them from this place out west, right in LA, right? So they started messing. Every single order there was a problem, right? So I get the one suit. There's like it looked like what was it, Mola Ram from Indiana Jones had ripped through the bag and ripped the tag off the suit. They sent me the wrong size, but like I'm not an idiot. I see the rip through the bag, so it's like, you know, I know they ripped the tag out. So I was getting them all from this place, but every single time there was a problem with the order. So right now I'm like a man without a country. I need a new suit place, you know.
Well, anybody who know, if you're near the Garmick district down in the city, hook Shane up. These suits, I think they have battery packs because they got.
Actually, I do have one that does. So that's strangely enough. I do. I have an LED one. That's right.
So let's get into it. How long have you been just involved with the independent circuit, professional wrestling as a sports entertainment? How long have you been involved with it?
This will be my 6th year of announcing now. Like this 2023 will be my 6th year announcing. I've been a fan just slightly longer than that. You know, I started going to Warriors of Wrestling here on Staten Island, and that really the bug caught quick. You know, I realized, you know, now you can get those seats that you'd spend thousands for at the Garden and see many of the same faces that you would at the Garden. Now you're in the second row and you're experiencing it. And you know, I caught it. I caught the bug very quick, you know. Thankfully to Warriors of Wrestling, Joe Bellini on the island. But that's
one of my questions. So, I mean, you've only been, were you trying to get in the ring initially, or was it always the announcing side?
You know, like I did like the backyard stuff when I was like, you know, in the late 90s, like everybody else and everything. And then I saw right away that there was people that could outshine me very easily, acrobatically and such. I knew that I was just a placeholder, and I was probably in the wrong lane. It took me years to find, you know, I don't know, anybody that watches wrestling as a fan, you get so inspired by it. You want to participate in some way, and you just keep chipping away and do that inventory. Like, you know, where can I fit in? Where can I get in this business? And certainly wrestling, I had to, I don't know if you're like a baseball fan, you always dream of being a player. Then you get to that age when and you're suddenly like, I want to be I wish I could be a manager, because you realize you're too old to be a player. And it's in every man's life, it's like the most emasculating moment when you realize, all right, I'm not, this player thing isn't going to happen, you know.
I'm still 5'5". All the rest of the kids on the team are 6'2".
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that I understand exactly what you're talking about. So, I mean, there's so many people out there that say, oh, I want to get in the ring. I want to do this. I want to be involved in some way. So 6 years ago, a couple years, you said a little bit before that, you got interested in the independent circuit. How does that conversation even start to say, hey, you mind if I just go up there and announce for you? Here's my gimmick.
Right. That initial door opening is like is the most crucial thing. Like, you know, everybody takes a different way to it. Maybe they brown nose. What I had done is I was taking photos, taking videos at every event, tagging the people in them. Like, I still tell people, like, the most valuable tool you have, you know, in the business is the phone in your hand. This will make your promos for you. This will get your gigs. This will, you know, get you to the gig. This will, you know, the phone is such an important thing and everything. So
100%.
That was my gateway, taking the photos, and then I made a name for myself for just, you know, being of some service. You know what I mean? You can't just expect to work in the business if you provided no service, because there's always going to be people that are willing to do exactly what you do for less money, and they'll put the ring together, you know? So if you're not willing to do it, you know, go through that, you know, it's kind of a moot point. And I got lucky. There was a fan experience. They had a Capital Wrestling where it's like you paid a little bit more for the ticket, whatever it was, and you got to pick somebody to announce. So it was at Capital Wrestling in Cathedral Hall in New Jersey. So I was like, you know what, I want to do this, because the guy that did it the month before was terrible, right? So it was like some, like, you know, Guido from Brooklyn, you know, like, hey, no offense,
this guy here coming out right now.
He may as well.
He's so good. He's so good. I like it.
How you doing? You know. Oh, he's from down the block from me. Look at this.
Look at this shit. Like, did you know that? You owe me money, don't you?
That's how much he weighs. Oh,
Maron. Look at his fat ass. He don't even weigh that.
So that was my inspiration. Like I'm always inspired by what I don't like more than what I'd like. So I saw that. I was like, all right, next month I'm doing this shit. I got to get my, So I wound up doing it and went over really well. And I got to announce Sonny Kiss, and versus Ken Dixon. It was the match that I chose. So it was like a pretty cool, and it was a baptism by fire. I remember, all right, where's the information I need? And then he said, oh, you got to go get that. You got to go in a locker room and go talk to them. So right away, I was like, oh, all right. He wasn't handling me with kid gloves. He's kind of like, showing me what it was going to be about, that you have to go do your own recon and get your own information.
Really?
So, all right. So I remember when I walked into the locker room for the first time, I got these notices. Like I have that street, I'm like street savvy where I can kind of judge what's going on around me. And I walked in and I was getting looks like, what the hell is this fan doing here? Like, why is he in the locker room? Like, it's like, you could just tell there was like some funk on the looks I was getting. So I got my information and I went upstairs and everything. And then, it went well. So a friend of mine had been instrumental at BWF in the Bronx at the time, Bronx Wrestling. So he said, bro, you did a great job tonight. If this is something that you're serious about, why don't you come do it at BWF next month? So it's like, all right. So right away there was the door, Pete Rosado, who I refer to as like one of my oracles. He's like my sensei. I still to this day, like, draw so much inspiration and like, from his knowledge and stuff. And one of the best bookers in our area. So he sent me, and that was a shithole, man. I could speak ill of it now because it's gone. But like, this was a place where you would have like, all right, there'd be like 13 matches on the card. You'd go in the locker room. There'd be 40 people changing. There'd be 20 of them that weren't even on the card, putting on face paint and stuff, like, just to like force themselves to be in some kind of match, some kind of trios match. So this was like baptism by fire. This is what I needed. I needed to be at a place that was kind of unhinged, where it wasn't going to be spoon fed to me. Like right off the bat, I was like, oh my God, this is what it's about. So I remember the first time I didn't know anybody on the card. I didn't know any of their roster. So all I know is a poster with 50 faces on it. So what I did was I cut out all the faces and I put them on index cards.
So smart.
So then I was like, all right, there's that guy. Hey, how you doing? Oh, my name is Mer, blah, blah, blah. I'm from here. I would write their stuff down. So now I wasn't going to get caught off guard when the guy hit the curtain. I wasn't going to, okay, there's the guy with the mustache, like in the picture, so it was kind of a dumb,
but no, that's
primitive
genius
way to do it. But I had to, like, because that was sink or swim. I didn't know the roster and I didn't know what I was doing at that point. I had no system developed. I didn't have a database of all the names like I do now. It was just like I had to figure out what was going to work for me, and that was cutting out pictures like a second grade art project, but it worked.
You were making your own collage.
Put them on popsicle sticks, right?
But that's realizing that, like you said, there's 40 guys back there trying to figure out who's actually supposed to be coming out, who's actually on the card, getting their information. And it's interesting you mentioned going back there and getting that look. I've watched plenty of documentaries on wrestlers, and that's one of the big things historically is you don't go back there where the wrestlers are unless you've been welcomed back there.
Right. I'm glad you feel that way. There's a lot of people that don't keep that, aesthetic. That's something that is like an unwritten rule to me. And like to this day, I'll see people, especially when like I get a little weird when like women are changing and like people will come in that aren't non-essential to the show and that aren't even like, they're not in with production, they're not with anything else, and they're just like hanging out in the locker room. It's like, if that was your sister or something, would you want some person that didn't belong in with them? So, Chucky Ireland.
Chucky Ireland, you got a fan. O'Shane.
From Daddy Daughter Entertainment. Thank you, Chucky.
Well, I think my first pro wrestlers to follow me were stepdads.
Oh, that's cool, man. They're such great guys.
They're some of the coolest dudes that I've ever met. They came out of nowhere, and then obviously Fox Vineyard. Fox,
oh, right, yeah.
He's from up this way. But so you're getting involved in this. What was when I know me, somebody initially I start going into stuff. I'm that guy. Both feet are in. I'm here, and sometimes in my head, well, I expect in the next 6 months I'll be announcing at WWE. Like I expect, like 6 months from now, that's going to be me because I'm going to be that guy. What was the vibe for yourself as you first got into this, and all of a sudden people keep asking you to come back?
Right, right. Like I found the best way to like alleviate any like fears or trepidation that I had was to make sure that I was hyper prepared for every event. Make sure I had that run sheet, try to have the cards written up before I go to the event. Like to this day, look, I got 3 shows this weekend. I'm written up for all 3 of them. The
Oh, you're
whole
prepared.
card, everybody's waiting, you know what I mean? So like by the time the weekend comes, I've already gone through the show essentially like a few times. Like I'll sit here and just, I'll physically sit here. He is from, the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, and just like run through a card. This way it's not foreign to me when come the weekend and everything like that. So I feel like the more you prepare, it's like the more confident you can be because your preparation's there. Like what is that cheesy like painting you see in the office, like success is where preparation and fortune, whatever BS thing. But it's
I know which one you're talking about.
Right. I think with the guy's parachuting or some shit.
Right.
Like a
there's always some bullshit, and we all looked at that like damn thing in the trash. I know exactly what you mean. Now, how about because when I think about me, and I think how I'm a nervous, like I can do all those things in my head, but I'm also a nervous Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
I am such that person. I told you I didn't prepare for announcing you coming on. I just got to do it.
Oh yeah.
Do you get to ad lib anything, or is it like, nope, it's on the card? I've talked to the wrestler coming up,
Right.
Who knows just when. I've talked to him. This is what he says his announcement is. Is that where it's coming from, or is it, nope, I got this. You're 6'8" and smell like cheese. This is what I'm doing.
Oh no. Yeah. See, when it comes to announcing everybody, I want to make sure I stay in my lane, and I do like what is told. I never want to be you never want to goof on anybody. That's not my place to like. My place is to present everybody with some kind of pride and decorum. Like I can't minimize like a heel. Oh, what's that guy's problem? Like I don't want to shit on anybody because I'm supposed to be there to enhance what the experience. I'm not supposed to be there to minimize anybody or anything like that. So like that being said, there's like you feel opportunities where you can ad lib, put in a little like aside or something like that, like whatever it is, like, and I'll always look for that, and I always try to be like improv savvy where I'm ready to go. Like if you're gonna give me something, and that's another thing too, if you have the honor of a talent kind of working with you, like Jay Bougie, when I'm announcing, like, hit me in the stomach and like, kind of rev me up and like pump me up to make me, vibe with me as I'm announcing it. Of course I'm going to take that, like that's an honor that you would want to like, interact with me and such like that. And like, not to like go too behind the scenes, like that goes both ways. If you want to, mess with me, twist my bow tie, I'm going to be there for you too. Like, I'm not going to, get your hands off me. Like, I'm there. I'm amenable. I'm going to be there, as, what's the word? I'm almost like a
prop,
a canvas for you to do what you want as well.
Yeah.
Like exactly.
You're like a marital aid. I mean,
right? Exactly.
I don't know if that was the right way of putting that, but
I just vibrate in the middle of the ring.
Just vibrate in the middle of it. I'm just vibing with everybody.
Vibing, vibing, not vibrating.
Okay. All right.
I think there's a difference. I don't know.
Maybe could be. I don't know. But and that was because that kind of fed into my next thing is where you always see that some of these announcers, we were talking about like Gorilla Monsoon. He was more ringside announcing, not really in the ring. But we had gosh, why is my brain not working? Because I used to think. Well, I was thinking. Finkel, that's a perfect one. I was actually thinking about his burgers. God, my brain's not working. Not Bobby the Brain Heaton, not George the Animals. God, he had his own burger joint. He was. Oh, Nate, where are you when I need you? He wore the bow tie and the suit for WWF forever.
Classy Freddie Blassie? No.
I love Classy Freddie Blassie.
Yeah, I did love him, yeah.
I was a big Polish powerhouse guy.
Oh, Putski, really? Okay.
Danny Moff. When announcing, Danny Moff is always one of my favorites.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. He used to do all the afters and and interview everybody. I don't know why my brain's not
No,
working.
no, Mean Gene, right?
Mean Gene. Yeah,
Oh,
Mean
okay,
Gene.
yeah, yeah.
Did you know he
There he is.
did you know he had a burger joint?
No, I didn't. I got a man
Really?
right there.
Like,
Yeah.
if you look it up at one, I don't know how many
Remember
he
that.
had, but at one point in time, Mean Gene Okerlund had something like, God, I don't know how many of them, but they started in the late 90s, and like Northern California, I saw them in Southern California and a couple other places. But yeah, they were the Mean Gene Burgers, and he
I
had
trust
it.
him. I trust him.
I would trust. Look, I mean, if somebody's going to be out there, and what a great name for him,
Oh, he was so
Mean Gene.
cool. The
There's
voice is
nothing mean about
beautiful.
that guy.
You know, I got an autograph from him one time, Sean, right? And I got the picture with him. I'm like, oh, I'm all wrapped up in the moment, and I forget the 8x10, right? I forget it on the table. So I walk away, and suddenly I hear, Shane, you forgot your, and that great voice, he's like addressing me. I was like, yo, thank God I forgot the 8x10 because I got to have Mean Gene like call me as like, you know, with that voluminous voice, you know, kind of. I was like, wow, that was so cool. I was like,
That is the cool. So now your story of as far as getting into this, I think is unique because, you know, hell, Falvo. If those of you don't know who Mike Falvo is, go look.
oh, I love
Mike's
Falvo.
amazing. Mike's got a voice for radio that and the face for it. I love Mike, but he has that. Let me go. We're going to go ahead and make this announcement now, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the ring, weighing it like that's Mike's voice,
Right, and he doesn't need to put on some fictitious announcer voice. The Mike Falvo voice is beautiful. Like
it's all there. But Mike introduced us, and it was just like, "Hey, Shane, you want to come on?" Absolutely, you're that guy. There's no doubt in my mind that you're that guy that somebody reaches out and just says, "Hey, you want to be involved in this?" You know, as long as it seems like it's on the up and up, you just got that vibe to you. What are some of the advice though? Now that you've been doing this for 6 years, you've been involved in this. First, for yourself, looking back.
Oh, this is good. Okay.
What are some of the things that you like hiccups you made? You know, where you tripped up that you think to yourself,
oh, that's such a good
these
question.
are some of the things I could have done better or would have done different.
Wow, that is an awesome question. Wow, I guess. Oh God, that is a fantastic question. You know, I've never like one thing I've done. I've never asked to work anywhere. Like it's all been on word of mouth. So I would strongly suggest that to anybody. Like to it's the best because I never have to worry that I'm stepping on toes. I never have to worry, you know, hey, you know, just to use his name as an example, if Mike Falvo's out, you know, I'm always available. Wink, wink. You know, like I've had that's kind of a weird, yeah, it's a slimy MO. So I don't really like participate like that, you know, like so I would say, even though I've kind of done it, I would recommend that people kind of have some kind of ethics. You know, like business ethics towards the other announcers, like Dave Adams and I, we're like two ships passing in the night. He does his promotions, I do my promotions. When we come together, it's a love fest, and like you know, we talk all the time. And same thing with like Falvo too. It's like we're so respective of each other's lanes, kind of like I find in a way where it's like we're not trying to it's like an announcers union versus an announcers competition. You know, like it's so much camaraderie with certain announcers that, like, you know, if you can maintain that, I would strongly suggest that to anybody coming up. Like, you know, like make friends and identify. Not everybody. There's a lot of duplicity in this business. Like people are very duplicitous. If you find authentic people that are actually the way they present themselves, you know, stick with them. You know, people are time is always going to reveal everyone. You know, good or bad. So.
Amen.
If you let that happen, you know, just gravitate towards the people that are sincerely in your corner and always reciprocate. That's another thing too. Like if somebody sharing your posts, somebody, you know, don't just sit there being glutton, like receiving that support, you know, reflect that support. Like, you know, like I try to I'm not, and that's not something I'm always good at. Like, you know, people will share my stuff, and that's something I would recommend, like, in that you always try, like, that's something I would give myself advice. Make sure that you're reciprocating constantly. Like, you know, if a company's believing in you to sit there and let you in their ring, you should be making a promo. You should be sharing the flyer, the ticket link multiple times, not the week of the event where it's going to do nobody any good. Like, you know, share it all along. and help create a presence for every event you're on. Like, respect every event you're on, even if they're back-to-back days. Show each one the support that you can. I have a habit where I try to promote each event one by one, and that's not always good because I might have an event Saturday, then the next Saturday rolls around, and I really haven't properly promoted that because I was so focused on event A, which was, so I think, like, that's not always a great idea. Supporting the events you're on in order, just support them continuously. Like, if you know your calendar and they have a graphic for it, you should be sharing that graphic, even if it's from, in May. Just at least create some buzz. If anybody's giving you bookings in advance, honor those bookings by reciprocating the support, for the event that they supported you, especially if you're an announcer. You can only be one announcer at each event. You know what I mean? So if they're giving you the ball, that's an honor. It's like you really should be, thanking the promoter and such. And some of the promoters I have like 24-hour conversations with, where it's like Steve Off, Joey B, Chad Minez, like, Frank Declet. Like, we'll talk just 24 hours a day. Just that's great when you're in that kind of mode with them. And they might ask you for creative help. It might just be sharing memes, but stay in contact with the people that that you like. And Chucky, he's a great guy. Daddy Daughter Entertainment. Him and his daughter, they're fans that go to shows. They give us more support than, like, sponsors do. So, like, you got to you can also should reciprocate to the fans as well. Like, I've had the honor of going to Chucky's house, his daughter's birthday party, and that's an honor. I don't have family that I would go to my family's birthday party, but Chloe's birthday, comes around, I'd be the first one there.
Well, let's talk about. Hold on, and I'm going to throw this out here. I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute.
Okay.
Shane's got a heart as big as any arena I've ever been in. And here's why. So we were together. I don't even think he realized we were together at this. We were together at the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame dinner.
Thanks to Falvo.
Can you tell everybody about that young lady who got the award that you were there for? I don't remember her name. I just know my wife was sitting next to me. And as a dad, I had half tears and half giggles in my
eyes. Oh, God. Thank you.
Because just everything about this young lady, she has cerebral palsy.
Yeah. She has, hearing difficulties and such like that. But, like, she continues to, like, defy her, like I said at the her name is Azalea Farkas. She's her mother Melissa, like two fans that like, I first saw her at an event, wearing a referee shirt and, like, busting people's chops and everything. I was like, oh, this is great, So I came to see Azalea, like, all events, and see Melissa. So when we ran a charity, I wanted to do a charity event. That was the genesis, and then I needed a cause. So the first came the charity event, basketball, which was like heels versus faces in a shoot basketball game, and I needed a cause. So right away, I was like, you know what? I was like, I know from Melissa's postings that Azalea goes to, oh, thank you, Chucky. Azalea goes to, I love him. That's nice to see, man. But she played for Miracle League in Mercer County, which was like an all-inclusive little league for kids with special needs and everything. So I was like, you know what? I was like, we're going to make that the focus. We're going to make that the cause and everything. So the original goals was $5,000, and we wound up raising $10,000. And it was all because of Azalea. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I said at the dinner. It's like, so it was tough, but we did it, and it was all because of this girl. Like, just her presence, at the event. She's such a ball breaker. You got to see, like, the worst heels she gravitates towards the worst heels, like Charles Mason, Darius Carter, Azriel when he's at his worst, and she out heels them all the time. Like, she'll, like, go to shake their hands and pull back and everything. But she's an awesome kid, and, like, that just. Her presence gave us the direction that we needed for the charity, and gave us, the cause that we needed and everything like that. So just because of her presence, here this league raised $10,000. When we approached them to give them the money, like, they were like, flinching, like, we don't even know you. We don't know why you would want to give us this money. It's like, hey, we want to give back to Azalea. So, but
she controls the room. There is
Oh,
no doubt.
definitely.
She got up there on that stage and she controlled that room. She busted her mom's chops the
For
whole
telling me
time.
to cut it off, cut off the speech, cut it off.
Yeah, cut it
Every
off.
time I see that often too. I'll be in the ring, going through my intro, and I look over to Azalea at an event, and she's giving me to cut it off. It's like, wow, that's brutal. Thanks. It's all love at the end of the day, but it's like, wow, thank you.
So
Ultimate heel.
she is, and I just love it. But you've also got to now in the role that you're in. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you're probably like me. You grew up watching wrestling, though.
Oh, definitely.
The independent circuit, getting to go to see that stuff, that's newer for me. Also,
Right.
I grew up going to like WCW, NWA. For those who didn't know, there used to be one called National Wrestling Association before there was WCW, and then there was NWO was within the WCW. That was the old Turner broadcast and like back in the day.
Right.
So we would go to these events and go see these things. But you've gotten some opportunities now to work with folks that when we were kids, you'd have been blown away to
Hell
even
Oh.
have them in the room with you.
That's so cool that you say that. Yeah, you understand exactly. Yeah.
Like so I know for me, I couldn't even shake his hands. I couldn't even shake his hand. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you haven't got to meet him, he still looks like he whooped most dudes' ass in like and I don't mean like in the ring whoop your ass. I mean like you talked wrong in a disrespectful manner, and he probably will whoop your ass in that Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin.
Oh, really? I haven't seen him in person.
Dude,
Really?
Ronnie Garvin still if you don't know it, he also has the worst finishing move in wrestling history, the stomp. It's horrible. But have you ever seen it? The Ronnie Garvin stomp? You got to look it up.
Stomp. Oh, yeah.
All he would do is like he would hit you with a couple of two pieces, and then you would go down, and then he would walk around you and just stomp on you, like supposed to be like a Kirby, but
right.
It was horrible. But I mean, that dude still looks like he whooped dudes' asses. But what's it been like for you getting to call some of these guys to the ring or announce them winning a match? Guys like Luke of the Bushwhackers,
Right.
Rock and Roll Express. What are some of the other ones that you've seen or were even surprised to see like come to the ring?
Like I got to announce like Jack Swagger, some of the best ones like The Godfather, like standing in a ring with like Sabu. It's like that. It's surreal to me, like like oh man, Jack Swagger was like a lot of fun, and he was just having a ball that night, and he took like a low blow that night. So as he's coming towards the curtain, I'm walking to the ring, and that's the grab. The next, he grabs me by my wrist, and he makes me fan his balls for whatever reason. I have a pic of this. I have photographic evidence. He will sign it one day too, hopefully, if I ever see him. So at the end of the night, he's like, he turns to me, he's leaving the locker room, and he goes, "Shane, I want you to remember two things." I was like, so right now, I'm like glued. I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Always wear white gloves and always fan balls." Okay, so that was pretty crazy.
So is that the antithesis of the white glove? Was that
right? That was a pretty cool one. Another cool like white glove redeeming thing. Enzo was hanging out behind the curtain one time at Warriors of Wrestling. Wasn't even on the show. He was just chilling in the locker room. So this is my first time meeting Enzo Amore. So I shake his hand. And I was like, "Oh, I apologize for the glove." Like because he was just behind the curtain. He goes, "Don't apologize for the gloves. The gloves are mint." I was like, okay, so that was another cool, caveat.
Dude, for those of you, go look up Worlds with an S at the end of it, Fair Productions on Instagram. Man. Go check out Shane. Go see the white gloves. I'm telling you, go see the pictures I posted of him wearing the white gloves.
Oh, thanks.
I'm telling you, my man, them suits is straight pimp.
Oh, thank you, man.
I mean, the Godfather. I mean, you were on that level with them suits. He might have to.
It was fun.
I've heard from guys that have interviewed him that when he comes out for an interview for a podcast, he is the Godfather.
Oh,
it's not. I don't know his real name, but he is the Godfather. It is turned on the minute it comes on, and doesn't end until it's done. That's who he is. What was it like having him around?
He was so cool. He's got like this like the smile and kind of glow about him, where he's like, you kind of detect where he's like, anything else you need from it? Like he just like he wants to make you a Godfather experience, like the best it can be, and you get this like kind of air that he's like, anything else? You're good. Like he's looking to like give you that experience that you're hoping it would be. So that I think Godfather is like one of the greatest to me. He was so cool, and I was such a mark too. I had the encyclopedia with me, and I had him sign, the Godfather. I had him sign the PWI from 1999. I was like, I went all in. I was like, I'm gonna have to do this right. But and then he says to me, talk about a name drop. This big event was going on in town, and he's like, yeah, after the event, I'm going to play cards with the Undertaker in his hotel room. I was like, oh, can I come? I wasn't gonna ask, but. What a name drop.
I come with you guys. Can I come out?
You need somebody to count the chips.
I'll hold your shoes for you.
Anything. But no, I didn't get the invite.
Oh,
puppy dog eyes as I might have been. But.
Look, brother, I don't blame you one bit. I mean, I can't, like I said, I looked at Hand of Stone Ronnie Garvin, and I'm like, that guy's right there.
Oh, that's nuts.
But I gotta throw this out. I'm gonna promote some friends of ours. But have you come up yet? I know you came up for the show, but did you get to stick around and do the tour of the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and meet everybody like at the actual fan expo side?
No, I didn't. I know like there was the event the day before, and then there was a lot of stuff going on. I was just up for the dinner, unfortunately, but I saw some of the items they had. It was incredible. They have like Jimmy Snuka's like original, like that big tongue, that tiger coat. Oh, beautiful.
Bro, they have things that would blow your mind. You got to come up though this year. Come sit with me.
Oh,
I'm inviting you now.
Oh, all right.
I do the podcast from there. Come sit with me. I'll make sure there's enough table space and mics. Come sit with me. I interviewed Ted DiBiase this year. I interviewed Manny the Bull Ramirez.
Right. They were all there, man.
Dan Severinsen.
Oh, he was so cool.
Dan and not one of the Dan's cool, but Dan talks a lot.
Oh, he does.
But you're not. I don't know. Too many people are gonna be like, "Hey, Dan, you want to go ahead and sit down?"
No, it's all interesting stuff because it's all as he's telling you, like, wow, I can't wait to go tell my friends the conversation I had with Dan Severin, how deep he was going.
And then he tells you something else, and you forget about the first thing that you wanted to tell you.
Right.
You're like, shit, what was that other thing over there?
Oh, my father's like an old school UFC head too. All I wanted to do was send him that pic of me and Dan Severin, him wearing the UFC Hall of Fame jacket with the crest on it. I was like, oh God, I gotta send this to my father. I can't wait.
Now, the other side to this is you're in there now. Let's call this what this is. You are the voice of downstate and Northern Jersey wrestling. Brother, you ain't got to thank me. You did it. You made it happen. You made it happen. Do you get a lot of, guys that are like, hey, I want to get in the ring. I think I got what it takes. How do I do this? Do you get a lot of folks that are coming at you with that? Or, I imagine from the announcing side, you probably hear from people, but how about people who want to get in the ring and actually wrestle?
See, like sometimes like people look, they'll ask me who they got to get in contact for booking and everything. I think sometimes like my booking powers are comically limited, and they'll think that I can somehow, I have like the core guys that when I'm asked my opinion, like I'm going to rattle off the list of like Desmond Cole, Nikolai White, Nolo Catano, Darren Richardson. Like there's some guys, Osito, like, that I just always believe on. Bruno, of course, Lou Bruno, he's been up there, so, there's always going to be that core of guys that I believe in. So, if I get asked, I'm going to say the same names and everything. But as far as like getting in, like I'll tell people the same thing. Like you have to show up, and promoters, the one thing that every promoter pays attention to, it seems, even if it doesn't look like they're looking at it while it's happening, is building the ring. Taking the ring, putting the ring together, and tearing the ring down. If there's an event. I don't know if I want to say who it was, but I'll just keep it like this. It was an event they did a few weeks ago. The ring was late. These guys banged it out. They put it together really quick. And the guys from Warriors of Wrestling, like the guys that have trained with Joe Bellini specifically, they have really good ethics for putting together the ring. So, you guys need any help? You need anything? So the promoter came to me, he's like, oh, let me ask you, who was helping with the ring when the ring got put together?
Really?
So the first thing I said was, well, the Warriors are wrestling guys. This guy had planks. This guy I saw bringing in, steel. This guy, was asking where this goes. No problem. This guy didn't show up. They needed a match here. The first guys that got booked were the Warriors of Wrestling guys because, the promoter had asked who was helping with the ring. So the ring is it's
wow.
a ritual almost, like, it's a ritual. And you know what, likewise too, the guys that stick around at the end are almost more valuable because everybody's banged up, everybody wants to go home, everybody's got a double shot, everybody's got plans. But those guys that are there at like 12:30 loading up a dark ring truck, that their intentions are pure, that they're physically taking your promotion on their back in the dark, loading up a trailer when they could be home going out with their girlfriend on a Saturday night, whatever. Their Saturday night's now done, because it's 11 o'clock. They had a chance they could go out. Now it's 12:30. They're putting away the ring. Their Saturday night's done. So guys that give up their nights like that, it's like,
It's interesting because that's the little things. Everybody wants to be the superstar, but are you willing to do the grunt work to get to that point?
And that doesn't just go for wrestlers. The guy Peter DeLong, man, the guy, commentary guy, he's like one of the hottest guys in commentary down here now. Every time you'll see him with a shirt and tie, and there he's got the planks on his shoulder, doing his laps, taking the ring down. So it's not even just, talent, in-ring talent, like, production and everybody, like, if they see you taking apart the ring, putting together the ring, that goes far. That definitely goes far. It's a weird thing, but it's something that promoters pay attention to.
I get it. But tell me more about this Peter DeLong guy. Do we need to take care of this? Do we need to make sure that he understands that he ain't the guy?
He's commentary, thankfully. I'm glad he's not a ring announcer. He'd be a serious threat.
Do we need to make sure, like, hey, look here, Peter, I think your teeth hurt. Like, you need to stay where you're at right now in your lane.
This guy's name's Peter DeLong. You don't think he got people too?
You got people? Listen to me,
got
Peter.
people.
You got people, I got people. I ain't worried about your people. I'll already have you done before your people.
No, we like him. He's one of the good ones. He's good. We keep him around.
Love it. So, I mean, how about now? This was something I was real curious. And we were on TikTok. We normally do TikTok before every episode. I try to do 20 minutes of TikTok, just kind of generating some interest. And one of the questions that came up was, has anyone in your 6 years of promoting, going around that whole area, all the different things, like the one that you got the shirt on, that's Pro Wrestling Magic, right?
Right.
Promotions like this, all these different groups. Have you seen anyone yet go to the show, make that next step?
Yeah, and it's all right. Here's the thing. The thing that always upsets me is the people who get signed seemingly first is always the guy next to the guy. You're like, they signed him. How come they didn't sign him? They signed her, but she's so much better. Like, it's always the guy next to the guy that seems to go first, and it's infuriating. So like those people like say Notorious Mimi. Like, I saw her early and was like, this woman's a star. Like, like she doesn't, she's like, a born superstar. So the fact that it took years for WWE to, to sign her, repackage her as Sloane Jacobs, and eventually, they released her. It was like, there's such a mismanagement of talent. Like, and so, you see people make it, but it's like, can they, do they fit into this, mold that they have in mind or something like that? So you see people make it as like, but like MJF was somebody that, I got to announce real early on, and everybody and their mother knew that this guy was a star. It was like, and it would get you infuriated. It was like, how come such and such is signed, but MJF is still here? And like now, and that goes on today, like Darius Carter. Why isn't Darius Carter, like, he's an ultra heel. He gets under people's skin like, like nuclear white heat, but yeah, there's certain people that like Casey Navarro, like he's been on Impact, he's been on AEW, he's been on MLW, I think which is where he is currently. And this kid was a star since he was like 16 years old. It took them till he was like, 20 something to fully realize this guy, he was the next Rey Mysterio 5 years ago. So sometimes I get so infuriated by seeing the talent at hand not getting signed, like, or taking long time to get signed. And it's like, it's like, oh, I wish I was a scout. I wish I was a scout. But, you got guys like Pat Buck and stuff like that who run, Create a Pro who are scouting on some level. So it's like, I'm never going to have a role like that. But it does get you so aggravated when you see who's not getting signed versus who is getting signed, But yeah,
do you think, you kind of brought this up, there's a lot of the other ones out there. AEW is making some waves right now. TNA or TNT was trying to make some waves. I don't know if they're still even doing anything anymore. There's these, I hate to call them ancillary promotions.
That's good.
But they're not WWE.
Right.
And the only place I've ever seen take down WWE was the World Wildlife Foundation, because that's why they're not WWF anymore.
Yeah, right. That was.
I mean, you want to talk about, you're coming a juggernaut versus a juggernaut, to take down WWF by Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh no.
Literally.
it took them down.
Right.
But do you think that some of these folks, when we hear these names that are getting released, that are getting dropped, that, they're not there? We were just talking before the show, and I want your opinion on this. John Cena is coming back on Friday to SmackDown, and I think he can kind of call his own shots at this point. Same thing with The Rock, Stone Cold, any of those guys, short of Goldberg. And I think Goldberg has his own reasonings they've talked about before why he'd never go back to any of them. But do you think that WWE just kind of, it's like the NFL. If the NFL called me right now and said, Murph, we want you to be a water boy, or wanted me to be the end guard tackle, sit at the end of the bench, guard the water, and tackle anyone that came near it, I'm going to go.
Right, right.
Like, do you think they've maybe reached too big and they just, you pissed me off, I'm dropping you. Or you were good for these 3 episodes. Moving on. Do you think they're too much?
Sean, I think a lot of things, a lot of the time what they're doing now is defensive signings, where it's like they're signing people and keeping them on the shelf to keep them from being that indie star, to keep them from signing with the AEWs. Like a company like WWE can just shell out that money to sign that person in the peak of their career, sit them on the shelf for 3 years, hit them with a 90-day no compete when they release them, and then sometimes you'll see like your favorite indie guy will be on WWE as a security guard or something. Like, God bless them. I'm glad they get that opportunity. Right. But sometimes I wonder if WWE is trying to like minimize that person by saying, hey, your indie darling is a security guard that gets beat up, on Monday night. I wonder if that is like they're trying to besmirch him in some degree too, or trying to like take away from that name. But at the same time, you've seen like MJF as an EMT on Raw, and then we see where he is, so it's like that is the gateway. And we've seen Daniel Bryan, for example, like he's had like a minimal role, so a lot of these on-camera roles do develop to big things and everything. But I just sometimes I wonder if they're just like just signing people defensively to just keep them off the shelf. We don't have a plan for such and such, but we know if they went to Impact, they'd be the biggest star in Impact, they'd be the biggest star in AEW. We're going to change their name, keep them in NXT, put them in tournaments, and then, eventually phase them out once their contract expires, kind of slide them back out. And like, whereas they were such a, blue chip prospect going in where everybody's talking about this person. And, I hate seeing that sometimes, because I wonder if they are doing defensive signings where they're just signing people just to keep them. Yeah. They have the money that they can do it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like being signed to be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. You're just there, so nobody else will actually have you, and you're going to suck forever.
Right. There you go.
Now you got a question here, and this is an important question. Nate always has the important question.
Oh, that's a good one.
What is your favorite go-to after an event food? Like the event is over.
Right.
Where are we chowing at? And I'm going to add to his question. Does it depend on where the event is at?
Definitely. All right. So, the answer it does depend where it's at, because I try to like coincide if I'm like going on the road with like a foodie spot. Like if I'm going to Connecticut, I want to go to Ted's Burgers. I want to go to Sal Pepe's, or Frank Pepe's, or I want to indulge in that New Haven pizza or something. So where I am, deviled eggs. Oh, Chucky. Yeah, see, I did some damage at this. I ate an embarrassing amount of deviled eggs at Chucky's party, truth be told.
There's no
I'm
such
bad
thing
around
as an
them.
embarrassing amount of deviled eggs.
Oh, but
Listen to me.
I'm
Do you
bad.
put Old Bay on top of your deviled eggs?
Oh yeah, or paprika. Yeah, but usually I like Old Bay. Anything to put Old Bay on.
Oh,
But like I'm always down for tacos. So it's like if I'm eating before the show, it's always going to be a taco place, a taqueria, and then like a good one. And then after, you'll always see everybody in Wawa. Like if the nearest Wawa from an event is 3 miles away, you'll go 3 miles and you'll see everybody from the show. Like that.
What's your Wawa sub? I living in upstate New York, living in the area. Stewart sucks. Listen to me.
Oh yeah.
But they love Stewart's up here like it's something special.
That's the one, the Rupia. I mean, like the Rupia Soda Company has their own, like,
No, it's they're different.
They're different. Really? Oh, okay.
I thought they were the same, because if you go into Stewart's here, they don't sell Stewart's.
Oh, all right.
But what they do now, I will give them this, is they do have decent pizza for up here, because the pizza up here sucks ass. But I miss Wawa so bad.
Oh, it's so good.
Idea. Wawa and Tasty Cakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're regional. They're definitely regional.
When I go home to see my mother in Baltimore, I'll go to the Wawa down the block from her in Baltimore. And on my way north, I will clear out the butterscotch crimpets and peanut butter candy cakes. and if they have Tasty Clairs, game on.
Take it with you.
I'm taking them all with me. And I always get to the counter, and these poor people at the counter look at me like, who the fuck is this whack job? And
it was the vendor taking out expirations or something. What is he doing?
And I look at him on. I'm like, look, I'm from here. I don't get to come down.
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to? I gotta ask this. Now we're into this shit. Hey, folks, welcome to Food Talk with Wrestling Fans. We're going to go ahead and talk about food that I like to eat that makes me into a fat ass.
I'll just make stupid faces like the man versus food guy over here.
Yeah. What is your go-to Wawa sub? I've got I can rattle it off for you. Exactly what I want. But what's your go-to Wawa?
I'll do sometimes I'll do like the ham, cheese, mayo, banana peppers. I was never a banana pepper guy until Wawa. I didn't care about banana peppers, but they put them in my lexicon. So I'll do that. Then I'll do I'll do the chicken tenders with just cheese and mayo, like that sandwich. Or the biggest thing is the lobster bisque. If I go and hit that soup button and see you have lobster bisque, oh my god, lobster bisque at Wawa is a sleeper. It's as good as, it's not really saying much, Joe's Crab Shack. It's on par with Joe's Crab Shack lobster bisque, but it is good. I love the Wawa lobster bisque. Sleeper item.
Here it is.
How about you?
Wawa tuna.
Oh,
with provolone, bacon, banana peppers, buffalo sauce, toasted.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to tell you that is the go-to sandwich.
I'm going to check next time.
Side item, Wawa mac and cheese with the packet of Texas Pete.
All right.
Wawa mac and cheese with the Texas Pete. But that is my go-to, like that sandwich right there. Now Nate's talking about potato fries. There is no fast food better French fries.
Oh, really? I didn't even know about that.
Them Royal Farms Western fries. You ever been to a
chicken too, right? People say that chicken.
Look, shove that KFC dead in your ass, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I heard this.
Royal Farms fried chicken is on that. Have you ever had Church's chicken?
Yeah, that I've had.
On that Church's level, like you got to go to a gas station. Like if you're down south, look, you're only getting Church's at the funkiest gas station that has like has the ugliest pumps that you're like, I probably just caught something pumping my gas. I just got herpes on my hand pumping.
The American Pickers pumps.
Yeah, like exactly the American Pickers pumps. Yeah, look, Nate's over here like next level. For Chucky's over here. Wawa or McDonald's are always the go-to long trip home after a show.
Speaking of lobster, I went to a McDonald's up in Connecticut with Azrael one time. He was driving with me, and I got a lobster roll sandwich at that particular Connecticut McDonald's. And I still hear about that from him. Like he'd be like, "Yeah, but this is the guy that would eat a lobster roll at McDonald's." like I've heard that like 1,000 times since then. I still get my chops broken for that.
I've been in Tennessee, where my mother's family's from.
Right.
McDonald's spaghetti.
Oh, really?
But so
They get some
McDonald's
crazy items are
they'll
regionally.
do regional, very regional kind of stuff like that.
Pizza, Canada.
The one I went to up in Canada was the first time I saw the touch screens, the ordering touch screens.
Oh, really?
Like they
Yeah,
had
I don't
like
know if I like
like
those.
big kiosks, and you just touch your order, and the girl just comes out and brings it to you, no problem.
Right.
Yeah, Nate says Texas McDonald's has pizza at it.
There we go. You see?
Yeah, see, so, and I think that's part of, but to bring it back to wrestling culture, I think these places are part of that culture. I've got a picture. I'll send it to you. I've posted it on Facebook. Hanging out with Ric Flair
Right.
in Atlanta. He actually wasn't going to take the picture with me because it was at a bar, and he was like, "I don't take pictures at bars anymore because I don't want people to know I'm still going to the bar." But it was a particular hotel where the rumor was that his home was being renovated in Atlanta, so he was staying at this hotel full time. And there was a beautiful Camaro Z28 that sat outside, was never in a parking lot, that belonged to him, and it sat in front of the building. That's the kind of but I mean, again, food culture. Kind of making this left turn a little bit into this. How much is food culture part of wrestling? We talked about Mean Gene having a burger place. You guys have your rituals with this. Have you seen that in your experiences as part of that wrestling culture? Like, guys are like, "Oh, you're new to our city. You're coming here. Let me take you places. Let me show you around."
Yes, bro. Your questions are awesome, but they when I was up in Rochester, like they call them the garbage plates.
Oh, garbage plates are fucking amazing.
So that's it's like a for people to know, it's like a smorgasbord of like appetizers, like mozzarella sticks and other things, like on an actual garbage, like a steel. In some places they'll use the actual pail lid, right? Like the steel pail lid.
Yeah, they'll have
fits right into wrestling culture, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, how much of that falls into that culture when you're out in invitations?
Yeah, I think so. It's a popular like locker room topic. Like, oh, where's someplace I can eat around here? And then oh, I love this place over here. And then people are very like passionate about it. Like Ridgefield Park, for one, is like, I'm there more. I'm at Ridgefield Park in Jersey more than I'm home like most times. So there's so many places like to eat around there, from like Peruvian to Korean to this and that. So there's always like a good argument, like, where are we gonna eat? And my friend and I, Bruno, Meadowlands Monster, we do something called street magic, where we walk around before the show and we'll go get something to eat. We've like we do get into hijinks. We like jumped one of the production guys one day like on Main Street, like left him like playfully, but left him on the ground and then ran away from him. And then
now Chucky's over at home. We've introduced a handful of the wrestling community to South Jersey homegrown Boost. What is that?
It's like a syrup-based drink in like Pennsylvania. It's like I don't know if I quite like
a lot of time
it.
in PA. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, some people like. All right, so Chucky could tell us there's like an argument that like either it tastes like flat soda or it tastes like fruit punch. I think that's the argument. It's like the Jersey argument with tail of ham and pork roll. It's like I think there's like a Boost argument if it tastes like flat soda or fruit punch. I don't know, like, and then it's another thing too. You drink it, and you're like, I don't know if I like this or if I hate it. This might be my favorite drink, or it's horrible. I'm not sure. It's very confusing.
Like shit or not, but I'm digging it.
Yeah.
He said it's basically a caffeinated juice. All right,
okay.
I would try something like. And let's talk about Taylor pork roll sandwich are phenomenal. If you've never had one, folks, go ahead and get you one. It is not a ham. It is not a breakfast sandwich. It's not a ham and egg sandwich. It is a Taylor pork roll. It is something different. I don't know how to even describe that to you. Well, next time you make it up here to the Albany area, the only thing we have up here, the only thing they have is tiny hot dogs.
Really? That's the thing, huh?
But it's not anything. It's a tiny hot dog on a tiny bun with a meat sauce and like onions, and you buy them by 6-packs. It's like it's like going to little tavern and get
What are they?
but they're hot dogs. They're like the hot
They-
dog version of a tavern burger.
Oh, all right.
That's the best way I can describe them.
But they don't have a name. They're just what if you ask for a hot dog, this is what
They're
you
little
would
hot dogs. There's a couple of places, Famous Lunch, Gus's, and
get.
Hot
Oh,
Dog
wow.
Charlie's, that when you go in there, you order them. And I'm gonna give away a crazy secret right now. I'm gonna give away. You ready for a secret that most people are gonna be like, I can't believe you ready? Every one of these tiny hot dog places here in this area, and then I'm really gonna upset some people in Jersey or in New York here in a minute. All of them are made at the exact same factory.
Oh, wow.
Every single one. Don't tell me one hot dog's better than the other. They're all made in the same
Monopoly.
factory. I know for a fact because my son works at that factory. So don't tell me that. Just like, everybody loves Carnegie Deli. Oh, Carnegie Deli is so amazing.
Yeah.
Guess where Carnegie Deli's meat is prepared? Troy, New York.
Oh, is it?
It's in fucking Troy, not even in New York City. It's in Troy, New York.
They got the pastrami's marinating up in upstate, huh?
Yeah, it's all upstate in Troy. Don't give it a
Wow.
shit like, oh, my Carnegie Deli, it's so amazing.
Pull back the curtain.
Look at that. Well, there we go. We're pulling back the curtain on wrestling. Well, look, folks, we're getting ready. We're going to put a bow on this. I think Shane and I could probably talk food and wrestling
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
all day long. Maybe we'll come up. Maybe that'll be the next great show that we come up with. We've come up with more shows on
Like
this
it.
that I don't do is we'll just get pro wrestlers on and talk about their favorite meals and places to go eat.
Oh, that would be cool.
I don't
And you
wanna-
get a lot of passionate answers, trust me.
We won't even talk to them about anything else. Like, I bet you like Manny the Bull has some great stuff. Because Manny was like,
God, you imagine.
like he was old school. Like talking to him, I don't know if you got a chance to meet him before. He's a truck driver now. Like he's
Wow.
he's that truck driver. You ever meet the guy like he's a truck driver because he has the earpiece in his
Earpiece, yeah, right. The Bluetooth shot.
That's Manny the Bull.
That's so funny. That's so true.
But what's so crazy about that guy is again, he's another one of these older guys where I'm like, I'm probably not going to snatch anything from this guy because I got about 15 to 20 seconds where I've got to really fight for my life right now. Like he just had that vibe about him. Like at 15 to 20 seconds is all I got. And after that, he's going to be gassed, but I gotta put it on for at least that time frame.
Still fighting a bull for 15.
Yeah. You got to fight the bull for 15 to 20 seconds. But I would think he would be one, like being a truck driver, he would have like, but he got into, and I don't know if these guys still do this. I'd be curious now. I'm thinking about it. He used to talk about if you were a heel, when you traveled to events, you only rode in cars with heels.
Right.
You only rode in cars with other faces. That part of the mysticism of wrestling, because they didn't want all of a sudden you're a face and you're showing up in your passenger seat with your heel,
right,
your great nemesis, and really you guys are buddy. He was like, you don't see that. We don't do that shit.
No.
And they drove everywhere they drove.
It's like the famous Turnpike story with Duggan and Sheik. Vince McMahon was more worried that they were, caught in a car together than the cocaine that they had and everything like that. Now you just killed kayfabe. Why the hell is Hacksaw in the car with, the Sheiky baby?
He's from up here, Hacksaw. He's from up by me.
Oh, Glens Falls, right?
Yeah, he's from Glens Falls. If you run into guys he's like where I grew up in Baltimore, it was the band, the Bangles. The drummer from the Bangles grew up around me. So everybody was like, her cousin's roommate in college was once accidentally dialed me. Know her real well. Up here, it's like Hacksaw went to high school with his cousin's roommate, cousin's friend from over in high school that once tripped over a bag that he was carrying.
Oh my
God. Real close. Like it's one of those.
Hacksaw gets his wood from the guy at the lumber yard down the block from me.
Just down the block. See him all the time, I think. It's one of those. So look, folks, we're going to put a bow on this. As I said, Shane, we're going to have to figure out a time, have you back, brother, especially if you got a promotion coming up. I'm telling you, if you can come up beforehand, the next International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which I believe is in August, if my brain's working right now, I would love to have you sit with me, do some interviews with some of these folks. I think it would be phenomenal. Folks, go onto your Instagram, check out Worlds with an S at the end of it, Fair Productions on Instagram. See what Shane's got going on. If you're anywhere down around the city, one of the boroughs, you're in North Jersey, make sure you're figuring out where Shane's at. Go see one of his promotions. Make sure you throw an extra pair of white gloves up there to him. He can always use an extra pair. Maybe that's going to be the new thing. If you see Shane and you're listening to him here, for him to know that you heard him here, I want somebody to throw some white gloves up there. Brand new in the pack, white gloves. Extra small. Just he has big paws. I just think he has large paws. He's a big man. We've met. I just think it would be funnier for you to throw extra small gloves up there. Very Johnny Cochran style.
Oh, I love it.
All of
must have quit.
Must have quit. Any next promotion you got going on, brother? When is it?
This weekend, I'm going to be in Ridgefield Park all weekend. Friday, got Inferno Fight Club and Fallout Shelter has a joint show on Friday. Saturday is Pro Wrestling Magic Kingdom Come 7. That's the final show of the year, where it'll be Team Shane versus Team Smiley for total control of Pro Wrestling Magic. So please root me on that one. And then Sunday is going to be BCW. That's going to be 2 p.m. And that's going to be on Sunday, New Year's Day. And it's a joint promotion with One Division Pro and Shadow Wrestling Alliance along with BCW. So come see us at the Ridgefield Park Knights of Columbus, the Phil Sheridan building, my home away from home. What better way to end the year?
What's the big match on Saturday night? Who are we going to see Saturday night?
Well, Saturday night's going to be Kerr versus Moff for the Pro Wrestling Magic Championship in a Bayonne street fight match. So that's going to be pretty damn cool.
What is a Bayonne street fight match?
There's no rules, man. And that's taking it to every corner of the building, which Moff will do. He will, you're gonna definitely hit the walls of that building. You're gonna hit the tables of that building. You're gonna go through a section of people, most likely. When it's Bayonne, that's Moff's home style rule choosing usually. And a few months ago, Moff decided that all of his title defenses by default are going to be Bayonne street fight rules. So that's pretty awesome. But the fact that he's going against a 360-pound army hero from the mountains of Afghanistan, and Big Kerr, that's going to be a tough one to choose, because I know in that area Kerr is beloved. So and so is Moff. So it's going to be a real hometown crowd versus hometown crowd. It's
one of my sons is a big Puff fan.
Oh, okay, yeah, man.
Puff
He's
is
big up there, man.
He's hilarious. If you haven't seen
Beverage
Puff.
Baron, as it were, right?
Yes. All righty, folks. If you're catching us and you're learning all about us through Shane, please take the time, give us a like, give us a share. I cannot explain this every week too much more. Going on to Facebook, going on to your whatever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and giving that 5-star, giving that comment about how much you enjoyed listening to Shane and learning about pro wrestling and what it takes to get into it and what it takes to be an announcer. If this meant something to you and you enjoyed this, going on there and giving that rating, that's how people find out about Shane. If you love the independent circuit, that's another way people are going to find out about that independent circuit, because you hit that 5-star, all those algorithms pump us up. People find out about it. People hear about these things. People learn about what's going on. That's what makes a difference. I cannot beat this horse anymore, and I'm going to beat it every week just so everybody hears about it. So please make sure that you're taking the time and you're doing that. Promoting next week. So again, this is if you're also finding us, this is every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, anywhere I could get it. I'd put it in your grandmother's tube TV if I could get it there. Anywhere I can find a spot. Next week, we've got actor and podcaster Cash Hovey on. We're going to be talking about getting into podcasting. Everybody wants to be a podcaster. I get asked about it all the time. How do you do it? How do you get involved? Well, let's talk to somebody who's, I think I'm pretty successful. I think I do okay, but I'm a local guy. Let's talk to somebody who's got the big backing behind them that's done very well, has been in that acting world. So we're going to have Cash Hovey, Hovey, coming on. We're going to be talking about podcasting, getting into the industry. What does it take to be involved in it? Do not log off on me, Shane. We got to talk for just a moment afterwards. Again, folks, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. It's all the Above the Bar podcast. Now, here's the biggest thing for you there, Shane. There's one other rule I forgot to mention, and I never mentioned it before the show. And that is that the guest always gets the final word. What's the final word?
Keep spreading love. Keep spreading positivity in this business. There's enough people spreading negative shit. Keep it positive. And like this man, like my friend Bob Williams, just keep spreading positivity. It's the best thing that we can do in this business. Leave it better than you found it.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.